Welcome to No Qualifications Needed. I'm your host, Mintz, with Andrew Nichols.
Do you know what that means, Tall?
Swarm of angry bees?
Do you know what that vuvuzela means?
I think that means World Cup.
It means World Cup. This is the No Qualifications Needed podcast, and today we are doing our World Cup predictions.
For the group stages.
For the group stages, because we don't want to fuck it up so bad that we have like a team that lost all three games in the finals. We're just doing the group stages. And no, we are not recording this immediately after we just recorded the last one. What would possibly make you ask that question?
Not
Not at all.
No.
I don't know what the hell you guys are thinking. We're not cheating. This was recorded right before it was put out.
Anyway.
Podcast number 3. Number 3, Tall.
Number 3. I didn't think we'd make it this far.
I did. I had a dream.
You had a dream?
I had a dream.
I'm
That one
very
day,
excited.
2 white men would give their opinions and people would listen. Because they haven't before.
Isn't that the American dream?
2 white men are now going to provide us with some perspective.
That has never happened before.
We are going to give the world the perspective they need. Not necessarily the perspective that they want.
Or deserve.
No, they don't deserve this opinion.
They don't.
You're right.
Okay.
We're better than them.
Group A.
Group A.
Group A.
Of the
We
World
have-
Cup
We
for
have
football.
we have Brazil.
Football.
We have Brazil.
Football. Football, Tall. Anyway, go.
Nichols is very excited this time of year.
Football.
We have Brazil, Croatia, Mexico, Cameroon.
Otherwise known as Brazil is running right through this group and headed straight to the quarterfinals.
So, who gets second?
I think Mexico does. Mexico always comes and brings it for the World Cup. I think they're a talented team, and I like Mexico to make it through. Mexico, their offense is really, really good, and I don't know, it's something about them. They bring it every World Cup. They always do. And their offense is good enough that worst comes to worst. I think they're beating Cameroon. I think if they tie Croatia, I think they get through on goal difference, worst case scenario.
I'm going to disagree with you. I think Mexico, they have a decent history, but they look shaky. And they've gone through a lot of instability, and their new coach, he's done a very good job getting the wins they needed, qualifying Mexico for the World Cup, and they have a history of bringing it on. I think this Croatia team, though, is fighting with a vengeance. They are wearing pajama top uniforms.
Here's the thing.
They have some...
I have a rule. My rule is never pick a team whose jerseys makes them look like picnic baskets at the World Cup.
Well, I think that is a foolish rule, and I think Croatia will get second place easily without having to use goal differential.
Really?
Yes.
You think they're just going to run right through?
I don't think they're going to run right through, but
Because I think Brazil's going to do that.
Oh,
Brazil is through, and they have the first slot in the... But, anyway.
Yeah. So, we have Brazil first. I have Croatia second.
I have Brazil first and Mexico second.
Group B.
Group
Spain.
B, the
Netherlands.
real group of death.
Chile. Australia.
It has the reigning World Cup champion, a team that has always been a power, a European power, an up-and-coming team on the rise that I think is more talented than anyone's giving them credit for, and the best team in Australia, which is not saying much, but they're there. They qualified somehow. I don't know how.
I think people expecting Spain to easily get past this group are not looking at how fierce and competitive each of these teams really are. I think Spain, they're older. They still play a beautiful type of football, but they haven't been the same Spain that won the World Cup 4 years ago. And Netherlands are coming up. I think that's awesome that their first game is a rematch of 4 years ago finals, and I think Netherlands are going to step up. I like my boys in orange. I gotta go with them. I have Netherlands getting first place in this group.
Really. My thing is, this Netherlands team, they just hate each other. I know they have two of the best players in the world in Van Persie and Robben, but I just don't see it for them. Because I think we've already seen this Spain team has their number, and they made them play in the World Cup final in South Africa. They made them play a style of ball that they didn't want to play. They tried to kick Spain quite literally out of the finals, and it ended up costing them. Spain just frustrated the hell out of them. I don't see them beating Spain in this game. I agree with you. I don't think that Spain will get first in this group. You want to know why? Chile. I love this Chilean team. They're just fierce. They fight for every single... I love this Chilean team. I think that the game of the tournament is going to be Chile versus Spain. The game of the group stage, I should say.
Yeah.
Is going to be Chile versus Spain, because I think whoever comes in first in this division, in this group, I should say, in this group, is going to do something very important, and that is avoid Brazil in the round of 16. Because the team that comes in second will have to play the team that comes in first in Group A, which we are in agreement will be Brazil. I see Chile doing this. I see them tying Spain, absolutely walloping Australia, because Spain with tiki-taka, they play a style of football that is... they win a lot of 1-0 games. Chile will put the smackdown on Australia, I think. And I think Chile is talented enough to beat the Netherlands. I just don't see it for the Netherlands this year. At any rate, I hate these groups because they're so unbalanced, because one of the three teams in the next group, either Greece, the Ivory Coast, or Japan will make it through. I don't think any of those teams are as good as Netherlands, who I don't have it making through. Which is why I don't like these groups.
The groups, there's always imbalance in groups. And
I feel like this year it's really bad.
Well, I think part of this year, it's a lot of competitive and good teams. And these FIFA rankings that they have, the fact that they have Switzerland number 6, bullshit.
No, that's because FIFA is based in
Understand, still bullshit. And we need to talk about FIFA as a whole, because they're almost as bad as the NCAA. They're
terrible.
Horrendous.
I'd like to not get political on this one.
It's not even political.
Just talk about football. Well, it is political. They get laws passed. They have a court.
They have a court. They are making almost all the money in Brazil, and the Brazilians are not getting jack shit. It is a scam.
If you want to find out more about how corrupt FIFA is,
Real Sports with Brian Gumbel.
I hate Brian Gumbel. I say go to the John Oliver piece. Just look up John Oliver FIFA. It should be the first one, because it has exploded in views in the past couple years. It's
a very good video about John Oliver, but if you want a very good investigative report, please look at the Brian Gumbel Real Sports expose with the Brazil called White Elephants.
I think if you don't even take the rankings into account, if you just kind of look at these groups, there's Group C with Colombia, Greece, the Ivory Coast, and Japan.
I mean, that's just a straight out unbalanced group. It happens.
But then in Group D, so we've already have Group B where we think one very deserving team that should be in the round of 16 will get knocked out.
Yes.
At the very least. Then in Group D, there's Uruguay, England, and Italy, all of which I think are very good teams. I don't know if they're all top 16 teams.
England is not a good team. England is a terrible... England is a terrible team.
If you swapped Greece and England, I think England gets through in Group C.
That's just pathetic still, but I disagree with that. I think you're...
Anyway, let's go back to alphabetical
And I want to
order.
say Group B, because I never said who I think is getting second. I have Netherlands getting first, because, chemistry is very important, and unfortunately...
This Netherlands team hates each other.
They hate each other, but... This is I think their talent, and they will rally behind that. They fell short last year. I have faith in my boys in orange. I got to go with them getting first, and I have Spain getting second.
I love the uniforms. I love the traffic cones. But this Chilean team, I think you're going to see a lot of Chilean players in the Premier League next year.
Oh, we will.
That's my point.
We will, but you know what?
Speaking of this, heavy on the rise. On to Group C.
On to Group C. Okay.
So we have Colombia, Greece, the Ivory Coast, and Japan. In that group, we have Colombia, who I think it's pretty safe to say will make it through. They're a talented team.
I agree.
We have a team that can't score in Greece, a team that shits the bed in every major tournament in Ivory Coast, and a team made up of hobbits in Japan. And I think that is a battle royale for that second spot. Because I think Colombia is pretty safe. They've got it locked up. It's going to be an entertaining group for sure. Because parity. Because parity.
I think this World Cup, and call this optimism, call this what you want, I think Ivory Coast is going to get that second spot very deservingly.
Yeah. I don't think you can make any wrong picks in this group, really. I think just this group is wide open, and I think the only team I'm counting out is Greece. I just don't see it in them. They're a good team, but I don't see them making it through.
To see how far Greece has fallen since they won the Euro back in
2004.
04. They can't score the ball. And Japan, they're going to get beat up on these set plays. You're right.
I think the
lollipop Gill is playing a soccer game.
I think the one team you really have to worry about versus Japan is if you're rooting for Japan, is the Ivory Coast, because they have a lot of big-bodied guys.
They're going. Yeah,
these set pieces are going up front, especially, and set pieces. Japan's just fucked.
Yeah,
when they play Ivory Coast. But I think that Japan. I like Japan in this tournament mostly because they're fun to root for. So the pick I'm making is the team I want in the next round, and that's Japan. So I have Colombia first and Japan second.
Alright, I have Colombia, Ivory Coast. Group D, we have Uruguay, Costa Rica, England, and Italy. Wow.
So tall. Little backstory, you were in Miami the past couple of days on the road, doing some research for this very podcast.
I was, and let me give. I grew up watching the Premiership in England. I knew the English Premiership much better than I ever followed the MLS, and a
lot of great footballers when we were growing up in the Premier League. England-born Michael Owen and Lampard.
Lampard, my favorite player of all time, and you see this much talent and. And you know what? I was excited for England because this year they had no expectations. And I felt that every year that England had, any hopes, they ultimately shit the bed. And I was like, they're flying under the radar. Their group is, it's difficult, but it's not impossible. There's a chance they sneak in with that second round, and who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, England is going to get last place in this group. And I say that confidently. And I hope I'm wrong. I'm rooting for this England squad. But I watched a display against Honduras that left a bitter taste in my mouth. It was selfish football. It was stupid football. They were playing very much in the midfield and only staying on the right side of the pitch, completely ignoring that there's half a pitch on the other side. They had no idea how to move the ball, and they were trying to mimic the passing style of Spain, but Beckridge and, these players just were not passing the ball. They were just holding onto the ball too long, not making smart passes. They just were playing selfish football. They're a talented team that did not take almost any shots against this Honduras squad, and I will talk more about Honduras later, but England, I watched them, and it was the most disgusting display of football that I've seen. And the second half, they were playing up 11-10 because a Honduras player was given 2 yellow cards, and they could do nothing. It seemed that Honduras had a wall back there, and England scorers just seemed nervous, and fair enough that some of their starters were out, but, that first half was okay. England's got me very worried, and I don't think I think they're going to get last place.
This English team, I saw a little bit of that game. I caught a little bit of it, and they look like a team where half of the team has planned their vacations for the 4th of July weekend, which means nothing for the English, but they look like their vacations are made so that they will not be playing in the second round of this World Cup. I I don't know, man. This English team. They did not impress me with what I saw, and this isn't, and it's not like it means a whole lot. Friendlies don't mean a ton.
No.
But when they're playing right before the World Cup, you'd like to see some urgency, and I thought the United States in their game against Nigeria showed that urgency.
Well,
Josie had 2 goals, which was great for him because he's been shitting the bed in Sunderland.
Yeah.
But back to Group D. I agree with you in that I don't think England's getting out of this group. I think that they'll finish third. I like Italy in first, and I like Uruguay in second in this group.
Speaking of Uruguay,
oh my god!
I would like to say,
oh good lord!
I would like to ask a question to you. What are the chances that Luis Suarez pulls a Mike Tyson and bites someone's ear off? Because it has to be over 5%.
I don't think it's a question of if it's going to happen. I think it's an over-under of how many times it's going to happen. Because, you think about it, right? He's playing against this English team, and God knows we can't stand their accents unless they're saying the word football. They're playing Italy, who, he might just be jealous of the fact that they have the prettiest team in this World Cup. He's playing Costa Rica, who's like wannabe Uruguay. No, I'm kidding. I think that, and I think they're going to make it into the next round.
Yeah.
So I think there are multiple opportunities for Luis Suarez to pull a Mike Tyson.
I'm excited.
He's going to do it.
I'm excited.
And I think that he's going to infect other players because he's a zombie. That's the only reason why he would eat human flesh.
Sense. I have Uruguay finishing first, Italy finishing second.
I agree with you. This is the first one we agree on. Yeah, there you go. Football. All right. On Group E. Group E. Switzerland is the 6th best team in the world.
That's right. That's right, Switzerland.
Thank you, FIFA rankings.
Very deserving of that number 6.
Uh-huh.
They've done so much to prove that number 6 spot is valid.
Yeah. Switzerland, I don't have them making it out of this group.
Really?
No, actually, you know what? I do. They're making it out of this group. But they sure as hell aren't the best team in this group as FIFA has them ranked.
No. And you know what? I think Ecuador is going to put on a really nice display. And something I want to say about this Honduras team, they're tough. They are an aggressive bunch in that game, in that friendly against England. There are 10 yellow cards, and yes, that's between both teams, but that's ridiculous. They play with this nastiness that we're going to get the ball from you. They don't seem afraid to hurt someone in the way. They play this very brute style of football, and you know what? They want this, and they have a fan support that... this stadium, the Sun Life Stadium in Miami, it was not near filled out, and this is just a select few, but I have never been in a louder stadium. The Honduras fans cheer with such passion for their team, and, you can say that about almost any country, but I think Honduras, they're not going to get rolled over. I have them finishing third, and I have Switzerland finishing second.
And who do you have finishing first?
Ecuador,
really?
Yeah.
I think I
Too
just
much Osming pride.
Too
much
Osming
pride.
known as New Ecuador.
Oh, shout out to all my Ecuadorian friends.
You just shouted out half of the town. This French team is too talented, Tall. I'm sorry. This French team is too good. Even without Ribéry, who has been ruled out for the World Cup.
Yeah.
They just have so many young athletes, Tall. And I just think that I have them finishing first in this because...
Really?
Well, Tall, going back to 1998, there's a pattern. 1998, win the World Cup. 2002, shit the bed, don't make it out of the group stage. 2006, runners-up. 2010, shit the bed, don't make it out of the group stage. The pattern, Tall. Le pattern.
He's betting on the pattern, folks.
I'm betting on Le pattern. I'm betting on a lot of young talent. And I'm betting on a team that I think has pulled together because their coach, they didn't have a coach last time. They had a coach who believed more in random chance than he did in actually making a strategy. which, strategies are important in the game of football.
Yeah, strategy is pretty important in the game of football.
I just think France is too good. They're too overall talent. I think every player combined on France is just a step above Honduras and Ecuador talent-wise. I think they're going to finish first because I see them tying Switzerland and then kind of beating the crap out of Honduras and Ecuador, to be completely honest. I think Honduras and Ecuador are going to play with a lot of pride.
Yeah.
I have Ecuador finishing 4th in this.
Really?
And Honduras finishing 3rd. I think Honduras beats Ecuador in their game against each other. Well, regardless, I'm looking forward to
We are on completely opposite sides with that one. Now moving on to Group F. Thank you very much. That was my 21-year-old sister. I say that because she acts like a 7-year-old. It is a pathetic display of maturity. I am apologizing on her behalf. Moving on.
You say this about her when in reality we blew a vuvuzela into the microphone to start this podcast.
I am, I'm in a glass house and I'm throwing pebbles. So moving on. Argentina, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Iran,
Herzegovina,
you know what I'm saying. Iran and Nigeria.
Group F.
Who wants second?
Yeah, Argentina, man. Lucky bastards. They're winning this group. I don't think it's close. And I think the gap between Argentina and Bosnia is huge. I think the gap between Bosnia and Iran and Nigeria is even bigger, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah.
The Bosnians play with a lot of passion. They're very fierce. They like to go at the ball and they like to attack and score a lot.
Yeah.
And I just think I don't think this is even a close division, to be completely honest.
I think it's 1 and 2, Argentina, Bosnia.
Yeah, I don't think much analysis is needed.
Yep.
But plus, this allows us to skip ahead to Group G, where we have USA. Let's go, Tall. The United States of America. The United States of America, Tall. They're winning the World Cup. It is known. My reasoning for this, Tall. I have reasoning.
Please.
All right. Where is this World Cup being held, Tall?
Brazil.
What continent is Brazil?
South America.
Ah. I have a factoid for you. European teams play much worse in South American World Cups. As a matter of fact, no European team has ever won the World Cup when it is in South America. Who are the two biggest threats to the United States in this group? Germany and Portugal. Who are from where, Tall?
Europe.
Aha! Now, the United States has participated in 2 previous World Cups in South America. In the first one, what place did they finish in, Tall? 3rd. 3rd place in 1930. The second time they played the World Cup there was in 1950, and they beat England. England, who was the number 1 ranked team at the time. England, who everyone thought was just a lock to be in the final against Brazil. The United States beat them, and they didn't even have a professional squad. Can I also get this out of you? Do you think this is the best overall United States team they have ever sent to a World Cup?
Yes.
And their previous 2 times in South America, they were wonderful. If this is the best team ever that the U.S. is sending, and in 1930 they finished 3rd, by that logic, they have to at least make it to the finals. Logic.
Okay. Here's the reality.
There are no holes in that argument.
Here's the reality of it. I don't have the United States qualifying.
Cristiano Ronaldo is hurt.
I'm not. I have Germany and Ghana finishing 2nd.
That's stupid. That's just stupid.
I have Ghana as my upset because I think Ghana. No, stop it. Stop it.
This is the drown out Tall stupid opinion.
I'm going to explain why I have Ghana. I think they have repeatedly foiled the United States, and I think it's a record they're going to keep. I'm not optimistic.
This Ghana team is one whole cycle older.
I completely understand, and you know what? I still have them beating the United States because, you know, I think your faith is with the United States. You have that nationalism. I completely respect and understand that. I just think Ghana
US is picking it up tall.
US is,
all of Group G has looked shaky recently.
I think Ghana is going to qualify.
Portugal looked like crap in their
I
recent
don't have I don't have Portugal qualifying. It's Germany, Ghana. We'll see.
Look. The United States plays Germany last in this group, and that I think Germany will have already locked up their number one position, and that's why I think they'll take it easy on the United States of America. And I think they can pull a draw.
Because the United States is not a team that you're going to want to play down the road. Germany, if they play the United States, they're going to play like this is a finals. They are going.
Disagree.
I
disagree. Moreover, Tall, they're getting in gear right when they need to. Michael Bradley is making beautiful passes all over the place. Josie Altidore had two goals in their recent game against Nigeria.
It's Nigeria.
USA. Nigeria is the best team from Africa. Not according to FIFA, but according to most fans of the game.
And you know what? I disagree. I think Ghana is going to shock. I think people are sleeping on
USA.
Ghana.
USA.
I'm not going to chant for Ghana.
USA.
Enough people. Never mind. Let's just go to Group H.
United States, World Cup champions, 2014. Lock it in. Lock it in.
It's locked.
Lock it in.
It's locked.
It is known.
Okay. Group H. Belgium, Algeria,
Actually,
Russia.
can I qualify? I don't actually think they're going to win the
South
World
Korea.
Cup. I think they're making it to the next round at the very least. All right. Group H, Belgium, Algeria, Russia, South Korea. Belgium.
And I have Algeria getting that second spot. I just think, you know.
Yeah, I think it's up for grabs.
Just Russia has not proved to be consistent enough. South Korea's, you know, it's just. I think Algeria has shown that they can step up. They looked good.
Algeria was just unlucky last year
they were just
to
unlucky.
be drawn in a last World Cup, I should say, not last year. To be drawn in a group with both England and the United States. I think if they had been in a different group, they easily could have made it out. So do you have your matchups in front of you for the second round?
No, I do not, because we're not predicting the second round,
I was just going to say what matchups we have in the second round and then wait.
So I will get to that. You give yours first. Say yours first. I'll give mine right after.
So in the second round of 16, I have Brazil playing Spain, which could be the match of the tournament. Chile versus Mexico.
I also have Brazil, Spain, and I have Netherlands versus Croatia in the second round.
I have Colombia versus Uruguay.
I have the same. No, I have Colombia. Oh yeah, I have Colombia versus. No, sorry. I have Colombia versus Costa. What the fuck? Colombia versus Italy. Let me get this.
I have Italy versus Japan. Because, go Japan. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Are you having some trouble, Tom?
Yeah, my computer just froze.
Alright, so I then have France versus Bosnia-Herzegovina, Argentina, Switzerland, Germany, Algeria, and Belgium versus the United States of America.
I'm trying to...
Don't talk bad about my USA.
I am having technical difficulties. So, give me 1 second, folks, and I'll get to this.
Yeah, it's okay, Tall.
Yeah,
computers are... Look, dude, by this time they have already gone back and filled out the bracket on their own because they can pause this, and they have already figured it out. It's really not that big of a deal. Do you want to just close out the show?
Yeah, let's just close out the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we're trying to create a tradition and as a homage to the great writer Bill Simmons, we will end with a book note from his...
A footnote, not a book note.
A footnote from his great book, The Book of Basketball.
Which we both are lovers and disciples of.
That was the first double whopper double. Eddie hit double figures in negative plus minus and body fat. Talking about Ed Corey here. Eddie was recently hit with a gay sexual harassment suit by his chauffeur, who made a far-fetched claim that Eddie swung his dick at him and said, "You know you want to touch it, Dave." Then Malik Rose defended Eddie by saying, "I know for a fact Eddie's not gay," spawning a few days of, "How exactly do you know this, Malik?" chatter. Then we learned that Eddie had 6 kids by 2 different women, and those are kids we know about. So maybe that's how Malik knew. Or maybe he said, "Hey Eddie, you in the mood for some gay sex tonight?" and Eddie turned him down. Or maybe they had a threesome together. Or maybe Eddie tried to boink Malik's girlfriend. Did House and I spend 15 minutes on the phone trying to figure this out? Of course we did.
That sounds like something we would do. It really does. And House, by the way, refers to Joe House. And the statistic he was quoting earlier was Eddie Curry was really overweight at that point and averaged a negative 10 plus minus. He was worth minus 10 points when he was on the court for the Knicks that whole season.
Isaiah Thomas, may his reign never be forgotten.
You know you want to touch it, tall. You know you want to touch
Just
it.
a little. And with that.
Sometimes I can keep it down with your face all in the dirt. But if you feel that left behind, need to get out of each other.
Alright, we're taking a selfie with the baby Zula.